All right, hello there. Welcome to a three-tier web app speedrun on ixamuse.com. Why am I doing this? Well, I know when a lot of people get into the DevOps world, the platform world, the infra world, they think, what should I do? How should I learn things? And the usual answer is, well, just build something. And then they want to know, what should I build? And the answer to that is something like, oh, whatever you want, or it doesn't matter, or pick something, or what you're interested in, or whatever. And a lot of times that's a little difficult for people who just are getting into it to go off. So I thought what I would do is take away the decision of what to build or how to build and just show you how to connect a couple components with some servers. Super, super easy stuff. Just a little bit of networking, a little bit of environment variables. We're not looking at monitoring, CI, none of that stuff. We're basically just going to be looking at building a simple CRUD app, this three-tier architecture where you have a database, a backend server, and a web server sending a JavaScript front-end bundle and HTML to the browser. Super, super easy. Not complicated. I'm cheating a little bit because I've already written the code for the server and the code for the front-end web app, so I'll just be cloning that, building it, and running it. And oh, one more thing is that it used to be like, this is how I got my start, is you had to buy a VM on a cloud provider like AWS or DigitalOcean. I think DigitalOcean is the first one that I did, and I learned a lot, SSHing in, installing packages, configuring things. But we don't actually have to do that anymore. You can use the fantastic labs.ixamuse.com. All you need is a GitHub user, and it's totally free. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. Okay, so here we go. Let's start up a Flexbox playground. You can have a number of different VMs, and you can specify we'll do Ubuntu 24, specify the OS, and let's just jump right into it. We'll wait for the VMs to come up, and the first thing we are going to do is we're going to install a Postgres database and do a little bit of configuration on that so that we can connect from the backend server. Okay, here we go. Exciting. Start the clock. There we go. And when you get a bit more advanced, you can do this provisioning via something cool like Ansible, but this is very, very basic stuff. We're doing the very basic stuff. No containers, no orchestration, none of that. And we'll start up the database. And here you can see that's running. Fantastic. Now, here's a fun little trick to get into the database. There we go. All right, awesome. Now let's create a database called Drizzle, just because that's what the backend code is expecting. And let's create a user with a password. Very simple password, not good for production, but we've got ephemeral VM, so we can do whatever we want. And let's grant all privileges. Database and tables. And also usage and create. Okay, cool. So that's set up. Our database is ready to party. Now, let's clone the code that I already wrote. Go. Okay. And if you try to install it, oh no, npm not found. Well, we've got this very cool project, FNM. This is very cool. It's just a way to manage node versions. Some people do it with NVM. I thought I would do this one today. Doesn't really matter. We just need node installed. And source that because you cannot restart the VM. And now let's install, I don't know, node 22. Sounds pretty good. Node, and we can npm install. Very exciting stuff. And let's just take a look. Oh, actually, we want to also build that. All right, you got your built dist. Okay, fantastic. And now we also want to look at this environment variable here, our database URL. That's what the process is going to expect. So let's just copy that and we'll put it into our env. Database URL equals, all right. And Postgres, that's cool. Labyrinth, great. What is the IP address? Let's see. It's going to be this one's 172.16.04. And 5432 is the Postgres port, so that's fine. And now if we do just run that and oh, of course, econ refused. That's because we need to update a little bit of configuration. Let me just remind myself where that is. I think it is in, yes, let's see. Good, and PG, this is the first one. Oh, we got a sudo that. Okay, and we need to change this line to all interfaces instead of just the loopback address. And we also need to update this one for the listen addresses. There it is. Instead of just localhost, listen for connections from everywhere. Fantastic. Okay, and now if we restart Postgres like magic, we'll see that, and you can test the connectivity here. What is it? 172.16.04 on the Postgres port. Fantastic. And let's rerun that. And oh yes, we've got a database and we've got connections from the backend server. And let's see. Let's also just check what the IP address is here. 16.03. Just because I want to curl it from this other box, this other server, and port 4000 users, pipe to JQ. We've got some users. Fantastic. All right, and now we're going to clone the front end code. Very, very basic code. Oh, nope, of course, because I didn't put my username, did I? Okay, there we go. And we're going to need to do our same fnm install fun install 22. Okay, we are cooking. I love it. And let's install the dependencies. Fantastic. And now we're going to build, because these built assets, this optimized production build is what Nginx is going to serve up to the user in the browser. And the reason we're using Nginx, so while this is installing, let me just go back to this picture, is that Nginx is what's going to respond to the browser request, and it's going to proxy the request over to this other server. We're not hitting this server directly, which is a very common pattern because maybe the server is in a private subnet or something, I don't know. But Nginx is what's called a reverse proxy, and it serves all the requests from the same domain. Just keeps things kind of nice, kind of tidy. And it's a very common pattern. All right, great. So we have a build folder there. Now, let's just go ahead and install Nginx. Very nice, very lightweight. Apache is another thing you could install. Does the same thing. And let's start that, and we can tell that it's, oh, no, not localhost server. There we go. There's Nginx. Fantastic. And now what we want to do is we want to remove all the files in there and copy all the files from the build directory, all our HTML and JavaScript, and curl localhost again. And now you can see that that create React app stuff is coming through. Awesome. Okay, and now we're going to cheat even more because I already have an Nginx folder with an Nginx conf. We can just take a look at what that is. Very basically, it's like listen at port 80. Your root is serving from here, and when you see a location users, then proxy that to box 2. You can just use the host name here because Nginx is super smart like that. So let's copy that over into the Nginx. We'll just overwrite the default config. There we go. Okay, so we're feeling good. And now what we're going to do, this is another very super cool feature of xmuse.com. You can expose port 80 from box 1, get a public URL, and just like that, oh no, we failed to fetch users. Well, I wonder what the problem is. It's probably... interesting. I wonder what it is. Let's debug it. This failed with status code 400. Oh, you know what? I wonder if it's because... yeah, 4,000. No, that's not how we do that, is it? Box 2, 4,000. Yeah, weird. Okay. Transient error? My goodness. Error. I don't know. Oh, you know what? I wonder if it's because I didn't reload that. Yep, there it was. I just didn't reload it. Fantastic. Okay, and there we go. So you've got your 3-tier web app. Very exciting. Now the best part is when you're done with this, you can just click this button. Boom, the VMs are gone. Ephemeral, they're cleaned up. That labyrinth password doesn't even matter anymore. Ah, amazing. So basically what we did was we set up a database, backend server, front end code bundle via Nginx, and served it to a public URL. Super exciting. And that was a speed run. Can you beat my time? You probably can.